Hello everybody, would like to welcome you to another Johnny Smith video. So last time we ended up doing the major and minor scales. We finished up with the minor, the diatonic minor scales. So that was kind of a pretty boring lesson, and this one's a little bit more exciting. This is the going to be the major and minor triad inversions, which are really important to know and kind of fun to learn once you kind of get the hang of this. It's a lot of fun. So again, at the very beginning, just kind of bear with me on this. It'll seem a little bit grueling at the very beginning, and then once you kind of get the sequence, you'll see how everything fits together. And so I'm not going to spend a lot of time elaborating on this. You have to just go through the sequence and practice it, and as you play different songs and as you progress in your learning, you'll see how valuable all this stuff is, especially for lead playing. And when you're doing scales or you're figuring out a part of a song, you'll start seeing these little triads all over the fretboard, which is really cool. And plus it will help you learn the neck of your guitar, all your notes and everything. So I can't speak highly enough for this section here. And what I'm going to do, this is going to be, the first lesson is just going to be the major triads, and then the next lesson is going to be the minor triads. I like to break them up because it kind of, it makes it a little bit too confusing if you're a beginner to do them both. It's an awful lot of information to remember. So, and bear with me, I'm a little bit under the weather today. I sure hope I didn't come down with anything. I was stuck in line at Walmart for like about almost a half an hour, I think. Hopefully I just have allergies or something. Okay, so let's turn to page 43 in your Johnny Smith book. Hopefully you have this book. If you don't, just kind of follow along. I'll try to do some diagrams. But this first part may be a little bit confusing if you don't have the book. So let me just kind of read part of this for you. It says, he starts off saying, the knowledge of the major and minor triads and their inversions is necessary when harmonizing melodies and counter melodies. They are invaluable as component parts of many of the more intricate harmonizations. Okay, and I just kind of use these things more in a simplistic way with my playing. I'm not, that in depth of a jazz player, but to this stuff, still no matter what level you're at, it's great to know. So again, Johnny Smith's whole deal is that every chord is determined by the root note, and that's fairly common, but he's a real stickler with that. So he starts off talking about his first example is a G13 flat 9 chord. And again, you're going to find out as you progress musically, you'll start finding out that like a lot of chords contain other chords, and it's known as plurality. And it's really easy to see on the piano. Guitar sometimes can be a little bit more difficult, but this first chord that we're going to do, and again, there's going to be a couple of them at the very beginning, so just bear with me on this. So this chord here is a G13 flat 9, okay? Quite an odd sounding chord there. So what's going on here? Let me kind of take you through again. If you've done the major scales, let's look at your G major scale. Now, if you haven't done this, you should go back and work on your major scales a little bit, or at least practice this one. This is really important. So this is kind of like your calculator for figuring out all the different chords on the guitar. Okay, we have a G13 flat 9. Okay, so remember, if it's a 13th chord, it's based off of a 7th chord. So let's find our 7th first. If you go up your major scale, here's G, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's your major 7th. There's your dominant 7th. That's what they're talking about. So there's your G. There's your 7th right there. Okay. And then we got this note right here, which is a B. That's your 3rd. So you've got a root, flatted 7th. You got your 3rd. And we've got an E, which is the 13th. That's actually, if you think of like a G6, if I were to play like this right here, That would be a G6. Okay, but if I have the 7th in here, without this note here, that's a G6. If I have this in here, the 7th, that turns that 6th into a 13th, okay? So that's your 13th, and this right here, this G sharp, let me go here. Is the flat 9, okay? So again, if we go here, 1, 2, and also remember the 2 is the same as the 9th. Once you, like if they have a 9th, it's just higher up on in the scale, and it's normally, again, that tells you if it's a 9th, that means underlying that you have a 7th chord, okay? Unless it's an add 9, okay? So now let's just count that out though. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, that 9th right there is an A, which is here, okay? And they said a flat 9. There's your flat 9. So here we go. We've got your G, your flat is 7. Oh, I'm going to do it this way. You got your G, your flat is 7. You got your 3rd, your 13th, and your flat 9. Okay? And again, that's kind of like off topic for the inversions that we're getting ready to do, but again, this gets back to your chord spelling, and this is really important, just even if you just learn this part of the lesson, because you can spell almost any chord, you can figure out how to play it, which is so nice. And so the point that he's making in this book now is that we have this little D shape right here, which is an E. See that? You've got that little E chord right inside that complex chord. So if you were improvising a lead, you know, off that chord, you could use that little shape to improvise on. Okay, so let's do one more. And again, these are kind of like just really quick examples. I don't know if they're the best examples out in the world. You know, one I like to use a lot is if you go back to this G6. Sorry, this G6, you could play it like this. See that? This G6. Now, if you remember your minor chords we did in a previous lesson, here's an E minor. You can see you have that little E minor shape contained within this G6. I like to use that a lot, you know, for just if I'm playing, say if a song goes from, you could do this. Okay, so again, that's just a little shape that fits right inside there. You'll start seeing these little shapes all over the fretboard as you progress. Okay, so let's do the next one. Is a G augmented 7 flat 9. So we're going to play that. Let's see here. So it goes like this. Okay, so let's take this one here apart. Okay, so again, here's your G, and you're going to start. You'll on these bar chords here, you'll start memorizing that this is your flatted 7th. You skip a string, go straight across. There's your flatted 7th. So you got your G, your root, your flatted 7th. Okay, and this right here is your 3rd. Okay, and then you have an E flat. Which is the augmented. So an augmented chord is telling you that you're having a sharped 5, a sharped 5th. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right there. They're playing it here. Okay, so that's your augmented, and then you got, there's that flat 9 again that we did on the other chord. So you have your root, your flatted 7th, here's your 3rd, flat 5, flat 9, okay? And you will notice right here is a little minor shape right here. Okay? And again, that's kind of easy to see, like say for example, if you play like a C bar chord, okay? You can see like in an A minor you have like a little C triad. If you want to kind of switch it around a little bit, there's a little C triad inside of in an A minor. You can use that for improvising. Okay. So, anyways, whatever that's worth, that's kind of complex. But if you kind of go through those notes and see if you can understand that, it's pretty cool. And I'll try to put some diagrams up with that. Okay. So now on to the bulk of the lesson. So we're going to start off with the C chord, and we're going to go in the circle of fourths like we've done on all the other ones. So remember, when we did the chord shapes, we had this was 1, okay, and then we had shape 2, and then we had shape 3. And again, this is important too because this is going to help you to memorize the the notes on your E string and your A string, so you know where those chords are. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the C and we're just going to play this, these top 3 notes, which is a triad. I'm going to angle my camera down here so you can see this a little bit better. So what I like to do when I'm picking these things here, I like to just pick like hybrid, or not hybrid pick. I guess it's kind of like that, but I'm just picking with these 3 fingers. Okay, you can do this right here if you want to, but eventually you want to get used to doing this anyways. Okay, so that's how I'm picking it. Kind of extra credit if you want to do that. Okay, and so we're going to have, this is your C in your first inversion, and I'm not going to like go through call out all the different inversions. I'll just do the first few, and then you'll kind of see how this fits together. Okay, so there's C. So we had this C right here. We've done this before, but we're going to do this C. This is C with the 3rd and the bass, and this is going to be up here. These 3 notes. This has your 5th in the bass. Okay, so this would be like C, root inversion. This would be like your first inversion, and your second inversion if you want to do it that way, like they do on piano. But you want to get used to playing this. You can see how the 3rd finger stays on the same string. I can slide up and do that. This is important to know, this one here, because again, if you're in the key of C, see where you're at right here? This is your C major pentatonic scale right here. Okay. So this is a good one to know, just like Sweet Home Alabama. Okay, so you have C. Okay, so you want to get that down. Now we're going to take the middle strings. So you're going to have a C shape here. Then we have this shape here, and then so again we're kind of going from this chord here. You got this. And here's the middle part of the C, and then we have that part of the C. So again, you could look at this as an inversion if you want to. Now we have the E on top. Okay, and then the next one is going to be the top 3 strings. However you want to do this. This is coming from, like, a lot of people don't see this, but when you play a C chord like this, if you play all 6 strings, normally I will just play up to the B string, but very seldom do I get all. That's kind of hard to do, especially if you're just starting out. Very seldom do I ever get that string in there. But where that's coming from, that's just the top part of this chord. If you do it the way we do like all 3 parts of it. So we have this. Okay, so that's the C. Now we're going to go around the circle of 4. So I'm going to start here on C. 2, 3, 4. Our next chord is going to be F. Okay, so now we're going to start with this E shape, or shape 3. So now you've got this. Here's your next F, which is right here. This is like the eagle claw that we had done, okay? Root, third, fifth. And then we're gonna have, this one's kind of tricky to see. So this is F, if you go like this. This is shape 1, or I'm sorry, shape 3, shape 1, shape 2. Okay, those were your 3 shapes from the previous lesson. But on this shape 3, we want the third up here. So this one's a little bit tricky. You really got to kind of eyeball it. When you're here, you got to know that this is your F, and you want to put this third up here on top. Okay. Okay, you just have to spend time with these. You know, give yourself a couple of weeks, but you know, if you're sitting at the sitting down watching the TV, have your guitar in your hand, and you know, hopefully you won't drive your significant other crazy, but you can kind of go through these chords and just get them to where they're automatic. And believe me, they really do come in handy when you're playing later on down the road. It's like you start seeing all these shapes. You can put those little shapes into your lead playing, and it just helps you, you know, understand a lot of what's going on when you're figuring out guitar parts. Okay, so that's your F. Now let's do the next batch. Okay, so now we have the middle. Now this isn't exactly the middle, but I'm calling it the middle. Okay, so it's kind of, you can kind of see where that's at. So we got this one here with the F's in the root. Now we have this little guy here. Again, this is coming from your eagle claw. Okay, then we got on the top strings, you got this little D shape, and again, this is your root note, which is right here. This is your F. Again, on your B string, remember this is B, C, D. This is your E right here, just like when we started down here. E, F, G, A. So if you start here, you got E. Between E and F, there's no sharps or flats. So you got E, F, G, A, B. Oops. Sorry, it was kind of confusing. I was looking at the camera. So again, this is important to know these notes on this B string, because you can, with this little D shape, because you can see this is D down here. That's your root note if you didn't know that. Okay, that's your D. You're beginner. I'm sure if you're been playing for quite a while, you're like, yeah, I know that. Okay, so D, E, F. Okay, so that's where that's coming from. Okay. Now we're going to go to B flat. So here's the B flat. Oops. Again, if you play B flat like this, okay, there's the B flat with your third in the bass. And then here's your B flat here again, if you kind of think of it as a bar chord. So we got, and then our eagle claw. Let's do the middle strings, or the middle part of it. So you got a B here. So you have that little triad. And then this little guy here. Oops. This one I don't really use that much. I haven't used it that much in the past, but it always seems a little out of tune. Of course, my guitar seems a little bit out of tune today. This is like the third time I've tuned it. I don't know what's going on with it. But here's your B flat, and here's this little triad here. Then you go to E flat, and we're going to start with this guy. this again. Well, I don't know why my guitar is always sounding out of tune lately. So I bang it into this mic stand over here. So let's try this again. So we'll just have to bear with my out of tune guitar. Like I said, I've already tuned this a few times, and these chords really seem to put the old guitar to the test. This thing really needs some work. But there's your E flat, starting with the A string. This one here is kind of tough too, because you have to visualize, you know, that your E flat is up here. So you really have to pay attention. The cool thing about this too is that, you know, normally you're not playing all these sharps and flats. So when we get back to the regular, just the normal chords, you'll see it's a little bit easier to do these. So let's do the middle. Okay, here's your shape here with the third. Okay, now here we're going to go here on the high strings. Again, there's your E flat. This is E flat. Okay. Now we're going to go to A flat. It's page 48. And they see we can do the A flat here with this the third and the bass. Okay, you'll start seeing how that sequence repeats, and so it does get easier. You don't have to think quite so much. Okay, let's do the middle part. We got so again, this is coming from your A flat. And again, on your B string, we know that this is E, F, G, A. There's your A flat right there. You make a little D shape. Okay. This one we have to go, we run out of notes here to do that other little triad, so we're going to go here. Okay, and now we're going to go to D flat. Oops, here's your D flat, so shape 1. That's your D flat. D flat's easy because if you just remember that where this dot is, this is where like a lot of the flat notes are, right here on your D flat. So it's kind of interesting how they laid the guitar out, but if you look at the notes here, you got D flat, okay, and then you have G flat, and now you have B and E, okay. These two middle strings are just regular notes, they're not sharps or flats, B and E, and then we come back to A flat and D flat, okay? So you got D flat, G flat, B, E, A flat, D flat, okay? So that's kind of a good guidepost for you to remember where you're at. Okay, let's do that again. So we got D flat. Oops, let me do that again. Okay, and then we're going to do middle. Okay, and then we go to this little triad. This is pretty easy because you know that this is your D chord. flat right there. Okay. So now we're on the G flat. Yeah, you can probably kind of tell I'm rusty on these myself. Actually, I was practiced these a couple times last week. I should probably keep more up on this, but I always revisit this every once in a while, and it's always good to cycle through them. But the good thing about this is you'll actually remember them. You may not be able to do them just right off the cuff really fast, but if you once you get this down, it's going to stick with you, I guess is what I'm saying. So here's the G flat. Okay, and then we're going to go to the middle strings. Again, here's your G flat right here. You could think of this as a root here too. Oops. So you'll kind of get kind of a thing like that going. It's kind of fun. Okay, so here we go. Here's okay, there's the G flat. Okay, then we go to the B flat. I'm sorry, B major. So here's your B major. So we have this first shape here, and again you'll start seeing how this kind of cycles around. You just have to look for the chord you can play the lowest on the neck to start off with. Again, here's your B here, and you got your B up here. You guys out there have to remind me not to do a Johnny Smith video when I'm a little under the weather. Games. It's like I'm finding this is kind of hard to think. You're not perfectly clear. Johnny Smith can be a challenge. Okay, but I wanted to get something done today regardless. Hopefully I won't be sneezing too much in between these chords. Okay, so now we're going to do the middle strings. Now this one is getting easier because we're on a good old regular B. Okay, so this is your B on the 7th fret. Remember 7th fret, B E, or B E A D are the notes. So we've got, and again this is your B string. It's your root note. This little shape here, and then the D shape. Okay. Okay. Go to E. So you're going to start with your regular E shape, and then we have the root 3rd, 5th here. Well, I don't know how my guitar got so out of tune. Now the middle is going to be to here. I find it's easier just to play the whole E chord instead of trying just to get those two notes. Again, I'm just picking the middle strings with my pick and my third and fourth finger. Okay, now we're going to go to A. D. Normally I would take the time to tune this guitar up, but since I'm a little under the weather today, I'm just going to say the heck with it, and hopefully it won't be too annoying. Okay, so let's do this D here. There we go. And now we go from D to G, so we're getting close to being done. So there's your G. We've got this shape, and then up here. And we'll do the middle shape. And there's your G note right there. Okay, now. Now I hope I didn't go through those too fast. That's kind of just dawning on me. But you'll see, like once you get the first few shapes down, like once you go through, do the, the C and the F. Once you see that the shapes are all the same, pretty much. So it should be fairly easy for you to figure out. And I will put some diagrams, at least the first few on there, and you'll just see it just cycles round and round. And then the main thing is just to sit down and do a lot of repetition on this, and eventually it'll just become kind of natural to you. I can already tell it's like it already started to come back to me after not doing it for quite a while, but I'm always aware when I'm playing. I always know where all these little triads are for some reason after learning this. So that's the cool thing about this book. It really gives you a way to connect to your chords. So that was G, and again when we go around our circle, the fourths, that brings us back to our C where we started. Okay, so then you're right back where you started. Okay, so anyways, work on that. That's important stuff to know, especially if you're into the theory, learning a lot of theory and all that. It's like I love it. I think it's great, and it's not going to hurt you knowing this stuff. And so, like I said, this is one of those deals. It's kind of cool because it's not that hard to remember, but it just requires rolling up your shirt sleeve and just kind of doing the repetition. So if you do that, you'll be happy that you did, and you'll never forget this. Once you go through it, you're going to remember it. And then as we get through more chords, I'm going to do the minor chords next. Okay, we're going to go through the same thing, and hopefully I'll have my guitar in better tune, and I'll be feeling better, and I can maybe do a little bit better of a lesson for you. But we're going to do the minor chords. It's going to be kind of the same thing, which will be cool because then you're going to know all your major triads and all your minor triads. Okay, and then we're going to do some other cool stuff after that. This book just keeps getting better. Okay, so again, it's just a great way to categorize everything that you know, and to keep it organized so you can remember. Okay, anyways, friends and neighbors and you fellow YouTubers, thank you so much for watching and putting up with me today on this lesson, but just I wanted to get something done today. So thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe, and we'll see you on the next lesson. Have a great day. Bye-bye.